This is going to be a completely unscripted, just first reaction to the Marvel TV show WandaVision. I didn't do any preparation for this. I just watched the episodes and kind of wanted to talk about it, so we'll see how this goes. This might become a video, this might just get scrapped. Hey guys, I'm KBW, and welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about WandaVision. I just watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm not a huge fan of Marvel in general. Like, I've seen most of the movies and like all of the Avengers movies, but I'm not like a huge, insane fan for the characters like some people are. Oh my gosh, Iron Man died, I'm gonna cry! I've never really been into comic books. I've only recently gotten into manga. It's not really the biggest thing that I'm into. However, I have seen most of it and do like the movies. They're just not like fantastic for the most part. However, a few of them are fantastic, but still not as good as most anime. Just gonna throw that in there to get some hate comments. If only I got comments. One of the biggest complaints that I have with Marvel in general is even some of the best movies, they all kind of have the same rhythm and same formula. So even with some of the like more interesting movies, you still just kind of know how it's going down, what kind of lessons are going to be shown. And even though everyone is different and they defeat the villain in a different way, it kind of goes about the same formula. That's a problem with just superheroes in general, where you know it's going to be the good guy versus the bad guy. The good guy's going to beat the bad guy, and there's not a lot that you can change, whereas in other kinds of mediums you can have completely different kinds of stories. In general, the superhero genre just kind of feels stale, especially with so many coming out constantly because they're so popular, because of the high action and the generally child-friendly-ish enough content that most people can enjoy it and most people love the movies. With all that said, now onto WandaVision. Janky editing for the win. I am interested in all of the new Marvel shows. I generally prefer TV shows over movies. You get more time with the characters, and that's the biggest thing that I enjoy about entertainment in general is just the characters. I love good plots and well-written stories. However, if I'm not invested in the character enough to care about what they're going through or to feel the emotion that they're feeling, then I'm usually not going to care much about the story. TV shows give you a lot more time to be with those characters, and I generally prefer TV shows over movies. I said that already. So with the new TV shows, most of them looking very interesting to me, with WandaVision actually being one of my least interested ones at the beginning, just because I care about a lot of other characters a lot more than Wanda and Vision. They're never my favorite, but I got a lot more interested in WandaVision as soon as it was portrayed as a sitcom of them just living together, being married in this weird black and white universe, and then it's probably all in Wanda's head, or someone's experimenting with her, or something that's making her create this illusion. This is really cool concept. Sometimes I wonder if I can actually speak proper sentences. So we already know from the movies that Vision was killed. Thanos like ripped his forehead off and he went dark. So with him being dead, having him in this show is such a unique, interesting aspect because we know he's dead, but somehow Wanda is either creating him or someone's putting it into her head that he's still alive. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, the story itself for the first 2 episodes is very much a love letter to old sitcoms. What? Let's try that again. These episodes are a love letter to old sitcoms, and it is super cool. If you've ever watched any of the old sitcoms, you'll have a big appreciation for what they're doing. The dialogue is really fantastic. The character interactions are actually pretty funny sometimes. It's like a modern sitcom, but sent as a love letter to an old sitcom, and it is so fantastically well written. The struggles are fun and funny. I actually appreciate the cheesy comedy. Most of the story has to deal with Wanda and Vision being these weird superheroes trying to live a completely normal life, which is actually just an interesting struggle in its own, where they are going through things like doing a magic show, but they have powers so they can just levitate in the air. While they're trying to impress them, they're also trying to fit in. So they've been hiding their powers. Wanda will show or manipulate the situation where he was just flying normally to look like they were using wires. So it's just that kind of stakes and humor that makes the show pretty fun, even when there isn't the intrigue of what's going on behind the scenes. if you are just a big superhero, like I like to see them fight, I like to see the action and the struggles that they overcome, there's not as much of that. It's a less like big story, which I appreciate the smaller stories and how you can see the individual character struggle instead of just this person's trying to end the world, then the next person's trying to end the universe, then the next person's trying to merge the multiverse or whatever, because you constantly have to have something that's one step above the person before you. Otherwise, it's a very weak story because everyone's like, well, the guy before this was even worse. This guy, they're going to defeat no problem, and you need that struggle. But the problem with having such big stakes is that you always need bigger stakes, and it just gets to the point where it's completely unrelatable. So having a smaller story with these characters is really cool, and one of the reasons I was excited for the TV show. Ultimately, WandaVision is or will be a psychological thriller, and that's the part that has me most interested in the show. Obviously, we know this can't be completely real. Some of them, like Vision, is dead, so we know that something's weird going on, and we know Marvel isn't going to make a TV show that's just literally a sitcom. And there's flashes to whatever's going on in the background. You see it in certain scenes where Wanda's dream is collapsing. The show actually has a feeling of horror, and it's an interesting horror because it's just an unsettling feeling that something is slightly off. We get this in the first episode with the boss of Vision choking on something, and then his wife just looking at him and saying stop it. Dang, I can't words. Over and over again. It's a very unsettling, strange scene, and then it ends with Vision just using his powers to go through him to grab whatever he was choking on and pull it out, and then they go on acting like nothing even happened, where they just leave and the boss offers him a promotion, like the end of a sitcom episode where they finally get through the struggle. So this show is actually very entertaining to me. I think it could definitely get bad. It could easily get really weird, or the sitcom just gets boring. I think there's a lot that they can do with it, but the mystery right at the beginning is so interesting. I'm gonna watch the next couple episodes. I'm probably gonna finish the series, and maybe I'll do a video on it later, but I thought I'd give some thoughts on it as I just watched it, and it was really interesting and entertaining and very, very different. This is nothing like any Marvel movie ever made before, and seeing the psychology within Wanda's mind is really interesting, assuming that this is all her made up fantasy, or that someone is doing this to her, and so it's partially her fantasy, partially an attack. I recommend go checking it out. It's on Disney+. It's very unique, so if you start it, you might realize this isn't for you, but if you like the old sitcom and the love letter that they gave to it, you'll probably enjoy WandaVision. If you liked Wanda and or Vision's character in the Avengers movies and in the Marvel movies, you will enjoy this, I am sure. But even if you don't enjoy any of that, the mystery might keep you watching. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a little bit more rambly than my other videos because I didn't script anything, but I edited the crap out of it, so hopefully it's good anyways. I might do more WandaVision if the show continues to get better, or maybe gets really bad, then it might be fun to talk about. So subscribe or like for that, possibly in the future. But that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. Jian